In the mystical village of Odi, nestled between a vast ocean and rolling hills, the night sky wasn't just a source of wonder, it was a map of destiny. For centuries, the villagers had relied on the star reader to interpret the shimmering constellations, believing that the stars held the answers to life's greatest mysteries. Among the villagers was Prince Nathan, heir to the throne of Odi, who grew up under the weight of a prophecy spoken at his birth. He shall marry a woman of unparalleled wealth and power, uniting kingdoms and fortifying Odi's legacy forever. As a child, Nathan marveled at the stars' beauty, unaware of their supposed control over his fate. But as he grew older, the prophecy became an invisible chain, binding his choices and shaping his future. His father, King Alden, reminded him daily of the great destiny awaiting him. "Your path is written," the king would say. Yet, as Nathan stood on the cliffs overlooking the vast ocean, one quiet evening, he couldn't shake the feeling that the stars were watching, daring him to question their power. The village bustled with life as fishermen hauled in their catches, vendors peddled wares, and children played along the sandy shore. It was here, among the lively chaos, that Nathan first saw her. Vanessa, the daughter of a humble fisherman, was unlike anyone Nathan had ever met. Her laughter carried over the din of the market, and her eyes shone with a light that rivaled the stars themselves. Nathan approached her under the guise of buying fish, but as she spoke, her boldness stunned him. "Do princes often wander the markets, or are you simply lost?" she teased, a playful smirk on her face. Her wit and warmth drew him in, and for the first time, Nathan felt a pull stronger than the prophecy dictating his life. Vanessa was no lady of wealth or power, but she held a strength that captivated him. Nathan found excuses to visit the market daily, drawn to Vanessa like the tide to the shore. At first, their meetings were brief, exchanging words over baskets of fish or stolen glances in the crowd. But soon they began to meet in secret, away from the prying eyes of the villagers. Vanessa wasn't blind to the risks of their growing connection. "You're the prince," she said one evening as they sat by the water's edge. "You have a destiny far greater than someone like me." But Nathan shook his head. "What if my destiny is wrong?" he asked, gazing at her intently. For the first time in his life, he dared to dream of a future where love mattered more than prophecy. Rumors of Nathan's secret meetings with Vanessa soon reached the palace. King Alden summoned his son to the throne room, his face a storm cloud of fury. "Is it true?" the king demanded. "You've been consorting with a commoner." Nathan hesitated but couldn't deny it. "I love her," he said, his voice steady despite the king's anger. Alden's laughter was cold and sharp. "Love? You are a prince. You don't have the luxury of love. The stars have spoken, Nathan. You have to obey the traditional, don't ruin yourself and this kingdom." The king's warning was clear. If Nathan chose Vanessa, he would lose everything. Desperate for answers, Nathan sought the guidance of the village's star reader, an elderly woman named Alira, who lived in a hut atop the cliffs. The air inside her home smelled of incense and old parchment, and the walls were covered in intricate star charts. Alira listened patiently as Nathan poured out his heart. "The stars may predict the future," she said finally, her voice calm and steady, "but they do not control it. They show possibilities, not certainties. The path you walk is yours to choose." Her words planted a seed of hope in Nathan's heart, though he knew the choice ahead would not be easy. Nathan battled with the prophecy and his feelings for Vanessa. On one hand, he had grown up believing in the stars' guidance. On the other, Vanessa's love filled him with a sense of freedom he had never known. Vanessa sensed his turmoil and confronted him one evening. "If you don't believe in us, say so. I won't wait for a prince who doesn't have the courage to fight for his own heart." Her words struck Nathan deeply. He realized that the battle ahead wasn't just against the prophecy, it was against his own fear. With his heart resolved, Nathan led Vanessa to a secluded beach where the waves shimmered under a canopy of stars. Taking her hands in his, he spoke the words he had rehearsed for days. Vanessa, the stars may say what they will, but my heart chooses you. Will you marry me? Vanessa's breath caught as she gazed into his eyes. Even if it means losing everything? She asked. Nathan nodded. You are everything. Tears streaming down her face, Vanessa whispered, yes. When news of Nathan's proposal reached the palace, King Alden wasn't happy with the idea. He summoned Nathan to the throne room and delivered an ultimatum: renounce Vanessa or face the consequences. You would throw away your kingdom for a fisherman's daughter, the king asked. Nathan stood his ground. I would rather face the consequences with love than reign in a palace without it, he declared. The king, unwilling to compromise, ordered Nathan's immediate banishment. Nathan and Vanessa left Odie with heavy hearts, knowing they had traded comfort and power for love and freedom. They journeyed to a neighboring village where they began a new life together. Though their surroundings were humble, their love grew stronger with each passing day. For Nathan, his decision brought him unexpected peace. For the first time, he was free of the prophecy's weight. The stars may have guided my birth, he told Vanessa one night, but you guide my soul. Life outside Odie was nothing like the grandeur of the palace, yet Nathan and Vanessa found joy in the simplicity. Nathan worked as a laborer in the village, while Vanessa mended nets for fishermen. They built a small hut by the sea where laughter and love filled their days, but not all was easy. The villagers, hearing about the prince's decision, kept their distance at first. Some whispered that the star's curse would follow him. Vanessa remained calm, reminding Nathan of their strength together. Let them say what they like. They don't know us, she said, squeezing his hand. Back in Odie, King Alden's strict rule had alienated many, and whispers of rebellion reached the palace walls. The villagers began questioning whether a king who valued prophecy over his people was fit to rule. Unaware of the growing tensions, Nathan focused on his new life. But when an old friend from Odie, Marcus, arrived with news, the past came rushing back. The people are struggling under your father's rule, Marcus said. Some believe you are the rightful king, destined to lead us. Marcus's words unsettled Nathan. The idea of returning to Odie and confronting his father felt impossible. Yet, he couldn't ignore the plight of his people. Vanessa saw the conflict in his eyes. If your heart calls you to return, we'll face it together, she said firmly. Nathan hesitated, fearing for Vanessa's safety, but her resolve strengthened his own. I can't let my people suffer while I hide, he said at last. It's time to reclaim my place, not because of prophecy, but because it's the right thing to do. Nathan and Vanessa prepared for the journey back to Odie. They knew the risks, but felt a growing determination. Along the way, they encountered villagers who had heard of Nathan's defiance of the prophecy. Many admired his courage and vowed to support him. As they approached the village, Nathan's nerves threatened to overtake him. Vanessa took his hand and whispered, "You're not alone. You've never been alone." Her words reminded him of the strength they shared, emboldening him to face what lay ahead. Nathan returned to the palace under cover of night, but word of his arrival spread quickly. King Alden was furious to see his son. "You dare show your face here," he bellowed. "I come not to defy you, but to offer a better path," Nathan said, his voice steady. "The people are suffering, and this kingdom needs a leader who values their lives over prophecies." The king laughed bitterly. "And you think that's you, a traitor who abandoned his destiny?" Nathan's reply was firm. "I abandoned a lie, and I will not abandon my people." The palace courtyard filled with villagers who had heard of Nathan's return. Many carried torches, chanting his name. Seeing the support for his son, King Alden's confidence wavered. The people, once loyal to the throne, now demanded change. Vanessa stepped forward, addressing the crowd with fierce determination. A true leader is not chosen by stars or titles, but by the strength of their heart. Nathan has proven his worth, not by prophecy but by his actions. Her words ignited the crowd, and their cheers grew louder. King Alden, realizing his hold on power was slipping, challenged Nathan to prove his worth. "If you wish to lead, you must earn it," he declared. "Face me in a trial of wit and strength before the council." The trial tested Nathan's skills as a leader, from solving riddles of governance to physical challenges of endurance. With Vanessa by his side and the people's support, Nathan persevered. The council, impressed by his resolve and fairness, declared him the rightful ruler of Odi. Nathan ascended the throne with Vanessa by his side, but their rule was far from traditional. Together, they worked to rebuild trust between the crown and the people, focusing on fairness and compassion. Vanessa's insights into the struggles of common villagers proved invaluable. She reminded Nathan daily of the importance of humility and service. "A ruler's strength lies not in their title, but in their actions," she often said. Under their leadership, Odi began to thrive once more. The village star reader visited the palace one evening at Nathan's request. "The prophecy said you would marry a woman of wealth and power," she reminded him, "and you have. Vanessa's wealth lies in her heart, and her power is her courage." Nathan smiled, finally understanding. The prophecy had not been wrong, it had simply been misunderstood. "The stars may guide us," he said, "but it is we who choose how to walk the path they show." Nathan and Vanessa's love story became legend in Odi, a tale of defying fate and choosing one's path. The villagers, once bound by the fear of prophecy, began to see the stars as symbols of possibility rather than destiny. Nathan and Vanessa welcomed their first child, a daughter, into the world. Looking up at the night sky, Nathan whispered, "May you always choose your own destiny." The stars seemed to twinkle in agreement. Years passed, and Nathan and Vanessa's reign became known as the golden era of Odi. Their kingdom flourished, built on the foundation of love, justice, and the belief that the heart's choices outweighed even the stars. Standing together on the cliffs one evening, Nathan and Vanessa looked out over their kingdom. "Do you ever regret defying the prophecy?" Vanessa asked softly. Nathan shook his head, his gaze full of love. "Never. The stars may have shown me a path, but you showed me the way." And as the waves crashed below, the stars above bore silent witness to a love that had rewritten destiny itself.